Linda. Hey, just been playing a lot of music. Some of that too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, lots of good things lately and coming up and just yeah. Had a few concerts coming up. I played with Matthew and Richard on Friday night. Yeah, Stone Soup concert. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, in the words of that famous rabbi, Ted Falcon, hey, I aspire to sound like him. Hey. Hi, Ted, if you're watching. Speaking of some of our favorite spiritual leaders, Nina was putting on some Wednesday evening things at one point in Unity in Linwood. And she asked me to bring mantras every Wednesday. And so that prompted me to say, self, I don't know any mantras. So I took a couple things that I do know and turned them into mantras. And this is one of them. It's kind of just something that my daughter and my wife and I say at night before bedtime. And it goes like this. I am a divine, healthy, and bright vibration of love and light. So we can sing it. Then it becomes a mantra, I guess. I am a divine, healthy, and bright vibration of love and light. I am a divine, healthy, and bright vibration of love and light. I am a divine, healthy, and bright vibration of love and light. I am whole. That's the whole thing. I am a divine, healthy, and bright vibration of love and light. I am a divine, healthy, and bright vibration of love and light. I am a divine, healthy, and bright vibration of love and light. I am whole. I am whole. Then I like to go to gratitude next. Thank you for your love and more, gifts untold, shelter from the cold. When I'm feeling sad or lonely, you let me know I'm not the only one who's ever been here. Thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for. Through all my noise, you've given me the choice. And though I complain, sometimes about the cold rain, you pick me up so I can listen for a while to just the things that I've been missing in my life. Thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for. Thank you for. Thank you for. Thank you for. each new corridor. Oh, I've been rich and poor, stumbled through my share of doors. When I'm feeling sad or lonely, you remind me of all the folks who've loved me in my life. Thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for. Oh, thank you for. Thank you for. Thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for. Thanks for being here this morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yay. Morning. Thank you, Steve. Good to see you. I feel like I've been away for about 5 years. A lot happened over the last few weeks. Good morning. Morning, Vicki. Hi, honey. I haven't seen her for a long time. I miss you. Peggy and Tom are here. Yay! You're here. That makes me so happy. Happy to see you. Happy to be together again in the same place at the same time. Although my watch says it's 1:05. So obviously my watch has been in my quarantine bag for the last few days. It's the 4th of July weekend. It's cold and it's rainy. As a child, growing up on a lake in Oregon in the mountains, frequently the 4th of July was rainy and cold. Fishermen showed up at 4:30 in the morning to get there when it was allowable to get the boats out and get the fishing gear ready and head out for the lake. And they'd come dragging in about 4 in the afternoon with no fish. But such joy to be together doing something they loved, even in the midst of weather that didn't seem to support what they were up to. Just singing and happy and fish, no fish, weather, no weather. It really didn't matter. It was that spirit of gratitude, that sense of joy in being and being in a place they loved to be. And there I was at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, counting out their worm supply for the day. That's what I did. I ran the tackle shop and the boat moorage. So, there they were wanting their worm supply. And come in the afternoon and all smelly and ready for whatever they were going to do the rest of the weekend. What I notice now is 4th of July has a different meaning for me. That was the meaning then. That was what it meant to me. And childhood of going to see, all of the fireworks and all the things that were part of 4th of July. But now it means something more to me. And perhaps more precious than ever, the experience of what we celebrate as the 4th of July, what we celebrate as quote-unquote Independence Day, what we celebrate as history and dedication and all the things that have made up our evolution to this particular point in time when we're asked once again, what do we value, what matters to us? So this Independence Day has a different feel to it, and the question is, what do you value and what matters to you? And what do you stand for? And what is it you see about this place where we live and move and have our planetary being? What do you see about this place that you hold most dear? And how do you support that in prayer and in meditation and through your actions? So this is a time this year when we're really called to ask, not what have we gotten, but what are we creating? And what is it that we're moving toward as conscious beings living on a planet that asks of us now that we give back in ways that are very intentional and very powerful. And so we greet you in the warm and loving spirit of unity on this 4th of July weekend, and with deep gratitude in our hearts for our Unity family, our Unity worldwide community, our experience as beings who consciously do work to be transformational in the matter of our minds, our hearts, our lives, our communities, and our world. We consciously dedicate ourselves to the commitment of that which we see and know to be most true in our minds, hearts, and spirits. And so welcome and have a safe celebration of the 4th, whatever it is you're doing online. I can't see you, but whatever it is you might be doing, we wish you a blessed 4th of July, and we bless each other with that same blessing. We wish each other the highest and best on this 4th of July weekend. Richard's here to share with us our daily word. There he is. Free. That's the word. Thank you. There.
Today's word is free.
He's got it. He knows.
Okay. There we go. Living from my Christ nature sets me free. As a spiritual being, I am always free. I remember this at those moments I feel at the mercy of an unpredictable world. While I may not be able to control what happens around me, I can take comfort knowing I don't need to. I am free to choose my response, but even more, I am free to meet life from my divinity, the breadth of my spiritual power. In prayer, I claim divine ideas. I use my gift of imagination to envision the life I wish to live, and the gift of will to make choices to bring it about. I speak affirmations to raise my consciousness and help create conditions for my highest and best outcomes to manifest. I find precious freedom realizing that life doesn't happen to me. Life happens through me. And from John chapter 8, paragraph 36. So if the Son makes you free, you will be free indeed.
Thank you, Richard. So great to see you doing well. So it was quite a time, folks. I wish you could have been there. It was quite a time in Overland Park, Kansas. You say, oh, we thought you were going to Unity Village. Well, the convention was the Unity Convention, but the place it's held, because there are so many of us and there are so many technological needs, is the Marriott in Overland Park, Kansas, which is a very large hotel. and complex. The experience of being there with 250 other Unity ministers, and it was a small turnout this year because a lot of people were not prepared to travel. And after it was over, many of us wished we hadn't. But there you go. Actually, I wouldn't change a thing. Well, I might change a couple of things, but um, given the vote, maybe. But the experience of the first day was at Unity Village, and we watched the ordination of ministers who were being licensed and ordained for ministry, which was a beautiful experience. And then the following day, the convention began, and it was outside somewhere between 97 and 102 degrees each day. Inside, it was about 50 or so, it felt. It was that moment in time when you realized that what was going on where you were wasn't necessarily going on everywhere in that moment in time. It was quite an experience. I saw wonderful longtime friends. I met scores of new friends, people I'd never met before, or may have known my name, maybe not. The day of the actual presentation of the award was quite a wonderful day. A lot of the conference and convention was about diversity and about learning how to be in the world differently, in our minds, in our hearts, with our generosity of being. And wonderful speakers, wonderful teachers, an amazing time. On Friday, some people started noticing that they were more tired than they normally would be. And I tested that day at about, I don't know, I called Sky right away, so it must have been like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And my COVID test was positive. So then I had to do that thing that was so far out of my integrity that I didn't know how to handle it. And so I asked for help. I called like 4 different people, including Sky, that I could counsel with because I needed to come home. I was going to be in quarantine, and I couldn't do it in a hotel with nobody that I knew for what turned out to be 11 days, 12 days. And I had to travel, and the awful feeling of being someone who could make other people contagious was where my shame came in, or guilt, or my sense of this isn't right. I double masked. I wrapped my shawl around my face. I didn't touch anything. I did not engage conversation. I just prayed all the way home while I felt worse and worse and worse. Sky picked me up at the airport, took me to the RV that's on their property, their 40-foot RV, and shut the door. It was like, okay, bye-bye. See ya. We'll be sure you have food, and you did. Heather, thank you. Louise, thank you. Catherine, thank you. Denise, thank you for Soup for Kay, I think came from you. So thank you for your generosity and for your prayers. Today is day 16. I am not contagious, but it takes a while to get your zip back. So I'm working on my zip meter going up a little. The award presentation was something that most of us would never dream of or imagine. It was so far off the chart of anything that I could have conceived. I can't even explain it. Someone said to me, I'm trying to imagine what it felt like to be you in that moment. And I said, I can't even imagine what it felt like to be me in that time. It was just, it was extraordinary, just extraordinary. And somebody actually FaceTimed it so that Kay could see it while it was happening. So my friend Karen Lindvig, minister in Seattle, held her phone and FaceTimed so Kay could be part of it. It was huge. It was transformational for me and for seemingly everyone who was there, because I apparently hugged everyone who was there at some point in time, which is probably how we all got sick at the same time. There ended up being, I forgot to say this, probably, I'm guessing, 150 people who left the convention with COVID. At least. And that staff from Unity School, the staff from the association, all the people who were working as volunteers, and then among the people who were present. So we did a lot of what do I want to say, infusing the energy with a lot of special dynamics, most of them wonderful. And the great news is vaccinations and boosters work. I have heard not one report from anyone who ended up in the hospital. Now, so take 150 to people, not one person ended up in the hospital. Everybody said, I've got the version that seems to be moving along, and everybody was praying for everybody, and so it was quite an amazing thing. If you want to go to the party, and you haven't yet, let Richard know that. You need to do that, Richard, Reverend Dr. Richard. Just so they have an accurate count. If you change your mind and you're not going, could you also let that be known? Could you make that communication? And if we need to do carpools, I haven't seen anything about that, but if you need a ride, or you need, if you're going to be taking a car by yourself and are willing to take others, we need to arrange that. Again, that's on July 16, and the party is at 6. And I have had a question about it in my own mind, and that is, we haven't volunteered to do anything to help. You have, thank you, because I thought, oh, we're all going to a party, and we're so excited. Is there something we should be doing? Thank you for handling that for us. It's the email went out several times. It's the party for my award, my Myrtle Fillmore Award, and at Unity in Linwood, yeah, on Saturday. Saturday the 16th at 6 o'clock.
May I say, we are bringing
What?
maid of honor.
You are bringing the bride, actually. Yeah, I am the bride this year. Yeah. No. Yeah. We're tithing me. That'll be plenty. I know it's 11:30. I haven't gone anywhere yet. I want to thank Mary Ellen and Deidre for filling in for me. It was the plan. I was going to come back from Kansas City and go to my mother's and be with my mother for a while. And then I was going to have a few days in between things. And I didn't get to see my mother, but I already had Mary Ellen and Deidre booked. So I'm grateful for their coverage. And prayer, 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 prayer. Prayer, 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 prayer. Our prayer ministry is getting lots of prayer requests, which we are gathering. But Silent Unity is praying for our ministry this month of July. So that ups our prayer possibility, potential, incrementally in keeping with Silent Unity. And boy, if you want to talk about prayer, go to Silent Unity, go to Unity Village. Jerry, I got to meet my fountain. I sent you the picture. I love my fountain. What a beautiful thing! But there's more to tell about that, and I'll talk about that another time. If you have a prayer request, submit it by sending an email, info@unitysv.org, or put it in our prayer box over here. And we will pray with you for 30 days and then forward that on to Silent Unity for another 30 days. New class begins this Wednesday. Only one class on Wednesday, just to clarify. This Wednesday at 11, I'll send out the Zoom link tomorrow and the announcement about it. It looks like it's going to be a large class. So if you don't have your book yet, it's this one, Living Untethered by Michael Singer. And it's a great book, and it breaks itself out into 8 classes. So we'll be doing 8 weeks of it. So one Wednesday and then the following Tuesday. And class begins at 11 and it's on Zoom. Just so you know that. Any other announcements, Jerry? Am I done? No? There's more? You mean like meditation and stuff? Yeah. What have you been praying about? Just give me, what have you been praying about?
I've been praying
For health.
for you, for I have
Thank you.
friends who are ill and have health concerns, so that's been really present.
Great. Prayers for health. Good health. Yes. Kathy. Prayers for the nation. Mhm.
Prayers for people's anger, acting out, driving being harmed.
Prayers for the anger and the acting out of the anger and rage. Prayers for Taylor, who's on her way to Baltimore. Yeah. Prayers for your own guidance.
Prayers for strength.
Prayers for strength. Hmm? Acceptance. Yes. Prayer. What do we pray for? In that quiet moment when we're in relationship with our own heart and our own mind, and in that place where we're asking, what do I pray? What prayer do I pray? How do I pray? Jesus said, when the disciples said, how do we pray? He said, well, find a quiet place and become still and pray to your Father or to the One or to the presence that you know in secret and that knows you in secret, knows the deepest desire of your mind and your heart. Pray in that place of receptivity and allowing, and let the prayer be sincere. Let it be honest. He said, none of that stand on the corner and pray in front of people who see you and give merit to you for praying. No, he said, pray in that. I know we all love to run out and stand on the corner and pray. to be seen of others, but he was saying, no, this is the deepest kind of intimacy. The deepest kind of intimacy where you touch that which you can touch in no other way, bringing your mind into your heart into the center of that which is and always will be and always has been. That we call creator, lover, sustainer, beloved of the mind, heart, body, soul, and all that is. When we pray, he said, it's an act of purity and acceptance, a kind of acceptance where you're willing to say, I know that the spirit of my being knows even better than I do what my need is, what my desire is, what the need of the other might be. And so as we enter into this time in the model set for us, we pray, my beloved one, thou who art the creator of all, and more than the creator, the activity of the creating itself, more than heaven and more than earth, and more than the farthest imagination can travel, is that which is and has been and will forever be the limitless constancy of the presence of life and love and purity, ever evolving, ever expanding, ever awakening within us. Thou who art that which is all, in all, through all, is at work in and through the very cells of your body, the very atoms of your being, the very formlessness that is that which is always in wholeness and integrity called you. Thou who art present as the breath within my breath, and the heartbeat within my beating heart. Unto you I lift my prayers. Unto you I lift them by realizing that there's nothing I could need, want, or desire that is not already met through the expression of your love, your life, your power, your presence, your wisdom. Thou who art that which is constantly giving, is giving in this moment the right and perfect response to all things, even before the request is made. And so I breathe, and I hold in the deepest place of my being these prayers for strength, for good health, for our nation, for the soothing of anger, for the guidance that is being unveiled, for acceptance, for our loved ones. We pray for the uplifting of each heart and that spark of awareness in each mind that opens and makes somehow a way in which each and everyone might be blessed. In all things, through all things, your power is at work. In the stillness, in the unseen realms, in the mysteries, your presence is presencing and bringing forth good blessing for all. We pray in the deepest place of our being to know you more, to know that of you which is the constancy, to know more of the way in which we are intricately woven of your pure presence. We pray to know that we are safe, that we are led, that we are cared for. Thou who art that which is, that which we speak of as all good, comforts and uplifts us now. Of you I am. Of that which you are, I am woven. May my heart be a place of light, and my prayers be a place where the power of your presence is seen and renewed and restored. May I be a blessing as I give thanks. And so it is. And so it is.
words I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You say it's very hard to leave behind the life we knew. But there's no other way, and now it's really up to you. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen?
I love that song so much. You started the chords, and I thought, yes, you're going to do that song. There are some songs that are recognizable in the first, just that first hit of the chord. Whew, goosebumps. That was a goosebump song. Thank you. I needed that. I was, as I said, in lovely pasture land in the RV for my quarantine stay, and with cows and to Sky, before you shut the door, how tall are those pine trees, would you say, out there, if you were gonna, those two trees in the pasture that are huge? Yeah, huge trees. Two of them, one there, one there. Yeah. So, thank you. Our youth education director knows everything. Took good care of me. I'm lowering my voice. Took really good care of me. Did you do this? Have you done that? What about this? Should I do that? Shall I text you 200 times a day just to be sure you're still alive? Yeah, too persistent and couldn't have been a better nurse. Anyway, I'm sitting at the little table because my 3 points were the couch, the little table, and the bed, and the bathroom occasionally. So I'm sitting, and it had clouded over. So it moved from hot to clouded, really clouded over. And I'm sitting and I'm just staring out the window in some dazed state. And I look at one of those trees and I'm like, oh my God, the tree is falling. The tree is falling over. That huge tree is falling. And I'm looking at it, and something in my active brain thought, well, it didn't fall. It just looks like it's falling. But what's going on? And it was making me dizzy because it was so intense. And I followed it down the trunk all the way to the huge base of the trunk. And when I did that, it was obvious that the tree was not falling, and it regrounded my perception, totally regrounded my perception. But when I looked up, the tree was falling. And the tree was falling because the cloud cover was moving so rapidly that it was creating that sense of some sort of strange, I don't even know what you call it, where your eyes are seeing one thing, but it's not the reality of the moment. But nonetheless, so every time I looked up, the tree was falling. And the only way, and I knew it wasn't, which is so weird. I knew the tree wasn't falling. It looked that way. And the sky, the clouds in the sky were moving so quickly that it made everything be this optical illusionary experience. But every time I'd come down to the base again, it would reground me, and I'd have that solid something. The tree is not falling. The tree is not falling. There's the base. Up there, the tree was falling. Down here, if I tracked it, and it didn't matter how many times I did it, I was still having the same experience, and I could tell myself the tree is not falling. But I couldn't see that it wasn't until I would trace it down to ground again, until I would go back to base and foundation and see it at that point. Because whatever was going on up here was literally making me so intensely aware of the process that it was literally nauseating me. And I thought, this is the weirdest thing. And then I remembered right in the same instant something ridiculous, but it just stuck with me. And it was the story about Chicken Little. Sitting, having her lunch when an acorn drops on her head, and her interpretation or her experience of that is the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And she runs to tell everyone the sky is falling and creates this state of huge panic and all this chaos until they're in this dangerous position of having Foxy Loxy be their guide, who only cares about eating Chicken Little, or the duck, or any of them, as it would happen. So now panic has put them in this precarious position, and finally one of them has the good sense, Henny Penny or Goosey Lucy or whoever it was, to say, well, let's go check this thing out, when they discover that an acorn hit her on the head, and it wasn't, that the whole thing was her interpretation of a moment. Well, my eyes were interpreting that tree falling until I could regulate, and a little while later the sky cleared, and it was blue sky and clouds, puffy clouds, and the tree was no longer falling. But I thought, that panic, that moment when something that you sort doesn't sort right. And not unlike Chicken Little, it's like, who do I call? Who shall I tell? Until I found my ground. And here's the real issue. You know, once she knew it was an acorn, she stopped running around screaming, "The sky is falling." It was just an acorn, and it was just an optical illusion, or it's something that I'm responding to in some way that's setting me off on a course where I believe that life is at work in a way that may not be true, even if I can see it's not true. How many times did I go back and look at the experience of that moment? I must have done it, 15 times. I kept doing it. It was like, what? Well, there's really no place else to look, number one, but because in direct line of vision. But that sense of being able to go to ground, to go to the base of the tree. My evidence would have been, had the base of the tree been moving in keeping with the top. It wasn't. It was right where it belonged. It was right where it belonged. And in the state of affairs of our world and our situation here in the U.S. In a time when we're talking about Independence Day and we're watching the movement of these energies that seem to define whether or not we're free. We're looking at all of these things and using them to define whether or not we're independent, whether or not we're free. It doesn't look like it. The optical illusion is at every turn, freedom is being taken away, or independence as we've known it is under assault and totally at threat, if not disappearing underneath our feet. But then I don't know about you. I got up this morning, went around the business of doing what I do most every day of my life in one way or another. And I had to check my base. I had to go down my trunk from the place of reactivity up here, the sky is falling, into base, back, trace it back to the base. Can someone deny me my freedom, is the question. Can someone, yes, they can change rules, they can change laws, they can change states, regulations, they can change all manner of things and take away what we've been given. It's mine. You can't take that from me because you're robbing me of my independence, my right to be, my freedom, my well-being. And it is that. That is going on. Just like the top of that tree was swaying in the wind, and in the wind it was moving the clouds across the sky. But there's a much stronger base than simply what they can do on the basis of rules and laws and who has power and who can do what to whom. And it's the issue that Gandhi taught most deeply, sincerely, and strongly. You can imprison my mind. You can take away my literal physical freedom, but you can't take away my freedom. You can impede the space in which I live by size and determination and a lock in a door, but you cannot take from me my freedom. It's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. You can't take it or give it. You can give a collective right to exercise that freedom, whatever it might be, or that rule or that law. But what is true is the foundation that cannot be taken from any one of us anywhere at any given time. And it's not about our color, and it's not about our gender. And it's not about who we sleep with, and it's not about our reproductive rights. You can change all the configurations, but you cannot choose my freedom. You can't take it, you can't have it. So if we look at our country and we see these things that are being snatched away, it's easy to believe that they are somehow putting us back in a state where our liberation is at risk. And I don't know how crazy it will get. And I don't know what else is going to happen. Things are happening that I would never have dreamt of. But you look around and you look at those things and you say, I fought for those rights. I was on those lines fighting for those rights. I was standing up with the others of us, so many of us claiming rights and the ability to be, primarily women, but wonderful men who I stood with, who worked on behalf of the same issues. I raised my voice. I did those things that seemed to give me and others freedom to choose. And now those things are seemingly being taken away. And maybe it's even more than that. If I look at my lifestyle, it's certainly on the list that I've seen. But you can't take away from me that which I am. And that which I am is free and unlimited now and always. And it's interdependent. It's woven into the fabric of everything that we're working with in our lives in really acute ways now, spiritually and in terms of what we're offering into the world, what we're doing, and how we're doing it, and why we make the choices we do. We know if you continue to make the same choices that didn't work the last time, what do they call it, Heather?
Insanity.
Yes, I've heard that word, insanity. But if I make my decisions on the basis of panic and fear, the sky is falling, what I lose is my own, if you will, I don't like the word, dominion over my beingness. You can't take my beingness. Cannot. You could end my life, but you can't take my beingness. Because we are infinite, and yes, we will work to do things that supplement and support the whole. And we will move with love in our hearts into making decisions that are for the benefit of all people, not just a few. And we will step forward to take whatever prayerful action or whatever physical action can help to support what we believe in. And many things that I believe in are being questioned in ways that I find just unthinkable. But if I move to panic, and if I move only out of fear, and if I move from the standpoint that anyone would have the power to take away my freedom, I may not be able to do what I did in the place I used to do it. But that in me that has dominion, my spiritual nature, the reality of the rising up of the power of the one in me will not be limited or restricted, because it is that firm base that I can return to over and over to be supplied with what I need to do, what I need to do, what I'm guided to do, what I am led to do. We take all this information and we say, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. I don't know about you, but I don't want to base my life on politics. It makes me feel sick and confused, and it's this and it's that, and it's one voice, and it's in this divided state of separation, and I want my source not to be that. I don't want to make it my God any more than I want to make the Supreme Court or anyone who makes any decision in this world to be the one who governs me. My spirit governs me. I am liberated. I am liberated by the power of the one presence in me, and I stand on that. Because out here, there's just wacky stuff. And that's what happens when we move to separation and panic and divided thinking. And no, I don't agree. I don't agree. But I know the things that I need to do, and I'm guided to do those through the power of my own being. And I think I'm not the one to go to the streets and fight for rights. On the other hand, if my spirit said go, I'd go. Why? Because that's our freedom. That's where we find our guidance. That's where we know who we are. And that's what we're coming into in an awareness of consciousness that cannot be taken away. Cannot take away your right to choose today who you will be. Cannot take that away. Can't say, oh, you can't go here. Well, you can't take my mind from going there. You can't keep me from my dreams, my imagination, my strength, my life, my heartbeat, the very source and core of my being. I will not give you that right. You don't have that right. I do. To be led by my spirit and to stand with the wind moving the clouds across the sky, making it look like the tree is falling. Or with Little Chicken Little, the sky is falling, you know. I can get caught in that so easily. But to take dominion again, through the power of the spirit of our being, is the work to be done in this time. I don't have to fight to be right. My spirit knows. And maybe we've got millions of people out there saying, my spirit told me, and my spirit told me. And I think, well, your spirit didn't tell me. I have one I know, and am coming to know more and more deeply all the time. And in that state, it deepens my trust, not in what will be 100 years from now or tomorrow even, but in that firm foundation that when I seek it, always grounds me in the truth that never ends, in the love that never, never, ever disappears. We have a lot of work to do. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. We have a lot of inner work to do, but it's the work we came here to do. And we can say, that issue isn't my issue. You know, I'm too old to get involved in that. But we are involved in it mentally, emotionally, glued to these ideas. And they are worthy ideas, and they are worthy goals, and they are things that matter. They really matter. And I will continue to believe they matter and do the things that I can do, that are mine to do, in the interest of those things I stand for or believe in. But I know that I can do nothing except through the one that does all things through me. It's true of us. I can only do that which Spirit does through me. And when I remember that, I remember my foundation. And when I remember my foundation, the world stops spinning. This is the time we're living in. This is the time we chose to be here. I read it over and over again. You're not here by accident. You didn't choose this day at this time by accident, or this time in your life by mistake, in a world that just seems to be determined to spin out of control. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we're here together. Thank God. We take a stand united in consciousness. And we're grateful for everything we have. Our offering, the plate is by the place where the cups are, by the coffee pot there. If you have given recently, I thank you for your ongoing support. If today's your day to give generously from that overflowing heartness of you, we are so grateful for everything that you give. And the principle is the principle. When we live with generosity, when we live in the state of true generosity, we know we're always in the flow. And we have just what we need. For that I'm grateful. For that I'm grateful for you. You're just what I need. You're everything we need. I don't mean because of money. I mean you personally are everything we need. We need each other in that deep way. I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source, and abundance is my nature. And so it is. Prayer for protection. Bless its heart. I heard like 4 different versions of the prayer for protection when I was hanging out with Unity people. We all change the words of these things to suit our current to whatever we're looking at any given time. I just like the old version when I can remember it. Just think about it for a minute. Just look at the words, and if I'm in the way, I'm sorry. Just think about it. Imagine somebody walking up to you today and saying, just out of the clear blue sky, I saw you and I wanted to tell you the presence of God is watching over you. Does it feel good? When we speak the words of this, imagine that somebody walked up to you and said, you know, I can see the light of God surrounding you. Be like, what? Yeah. I know, you must be somebody special because I can feel the love of God coming off of you. You'd be like, touch me more. Does a hug go with that? The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. We're doing us. Let's start over. Let's do you. Can you do you? All right. And just think about somebody. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Thank you all for being with us. Do you have another song for us? Sure. Could you do one song to close us out instead of the peace song today? Let's just do one song. Okay. Okay, you're in charge.
Linda asked the question I always love to hear. Would you like to do a song? Yes. Yes, I would. Oh. You know, I've played this song for you a few times, and I'm going to play it again. It's, I think in this time with all the questions that you posed, yeah, I just think it's so amazingly wonderful to be able to ask questions of ourselves and sit in those questions and then honor the questions that others are asking, because they're asking questions for themselves, their families, the people they love. So, and I worry because this could be taken really politically, and it's just questions we all have, and I just want to honor yours and hopefully you honor mine. Riddle me this. Let's start with a question. May I make a patriotic suggestion? Can our hearts take the lead in this historic time? 'Cause this land is your land and it's mine. Riddle me this. Or can we choose to walk in freedom and walk in each other's shoes? Can we be unified today with all that's happening? And pose some questions worth considering, like, who we gonna trust? Could anyone be choosing profits over us? Am I wrong, or is this thing gotten serious? And is it safe, or just to ask a question? Riddle me this. Riddle me this. Here's the thing. how it hurts to see so many people suffering. And if we comply, don't we have everything to lose? Ah, you know, I think we do. Oh, say, can you see the fading flag of our American dreams? Will our founders' words be washed away? What do those who fought for freedom have to say? If those who gave their lives were here today, riddle me this: what about our kids? Will future generations know what freedom is? Let our hearts take the lead. It's not that much to bear, 'cause this land is our land and it should be theirs. Will this land someday be theirs? Riddle me this. Oh, riddle me this. This land is your land and it's my land. Down to the Gulf Stream waters, riddle me this. Can we pose some questions for our sons and daughters? Riddle me this. Thanks very much. Good to see you all this morning. Welcome back. Thank you.
Did you know that? No. There were a whole lot of Unity Church of Truths that came out at the same time and accepted that as their name, and that's our doing business as. But we're Unity Skagit Valley, and we're so happy to be here and there too. Have a great week. Ah, Catherine's getting younger? She's getting younger.